We're going to provide you a storyline, but before we provide you the storyline, you must have qualified to the finals, which is these two people. The first stage will be going to write a story, any story of your choice, and it should be like a 500-word story. It could be a sad story, it could be an exciting story, it could be any kind of story, but my team will go through the story and we're going to pick the best 4 people. So any story you like, real life story, fiction, non-fiction, any story, as far as the story that you think you can compose in a way that will make sense to us when we read it. So now we're going to pick the best 4 of all the stories. After that, you're going to come on live and you're going to tell the story. Those stories you wrote, so which means that is why it is not advisable for you to go to ChatGPT. So we're going to see how presentable the story is, how captivating the story is, how much we can connect to these stories, and how that story can tell about things in our day-to-day activity or in our life or whatsoever. I can imagine us listening to it and be shedding tears on that day. I know I can get some story like that, oh my God, this story touched my heart. It make me remember some things, that kind of thing, right? And it should be something that tells about moral. Let it be something that we can learn from. So let it be something that will send a message to us. Not that you go and say, okay, he went to the club and he ganja, took ganja and that and fell in the gutter. And he drank gutter water and the belly was big after drinking gutter water. No. Okay. Then after the video, we're going to pick the 2 best storytellers. These are the 2 people that will go to the final. This is the last part that is very interesting. One of you will be a prosecutor. One of you will be a defendant. Kind of like both of you are assumed to be barristers. Okay. I will be the accused. We're going to supply the 2 of you a particular storyline. My story, not my life story, but in the picture, I am the person in the story, okay? You can go home and watch it and make sure you understand the story, which means you know my history now. As a lawyer, when you have a client, you need to know the story of the client. Am I correct? So I am your client. You must have gotten a message about my life, what I did, the crime I committed. Why did I commit this crime? You must have gotten it, right? And then one of you will defend me. It wasn't my fault whatsoever. I should be taken to jail. I should be forgiven, stuff like that. Then the other person will be telling the judge the reason why I should be jailed. Does that make sense? Now, we are going to have a judge on the platform. We're going to have a barrister friend of mine. She will be the one that will be on the platform that day. And then the listeners will be the jury. So by the time the 2 lawyers are either defending me or accusing me, you guys will also be listening to their points. Which of their points makes sense? You guys will vote on who do you think won the case. Should I be jailed or I should be set free? We're going to add the people that support me to be jailed or those that support me to be set free. Okay? So if we have more people supporting me to be jailed, it means the lawyer that prosecutes me to go to jail won the case. But then the judge will give the final say. The judge may have a point to give. But meanwhile, you guys will vote to see which of these 2 guys gave the right points. And also, the 2 people, you have to go for your research. You're going to use the Nigerian law to either free me or to jail me. And when you are debating on that day, you should be debating with those Nigerian law. You're going to be quoting them just like it is a real law court. So you're not just telling me you have to get free, proving to the judge that Section Act this whatsoever in the Nigerian constitution, you are allowed to do this, okay? So you have to give your proof. You have to show that you are ready to let me free or you are ready to prosecute me. So that is a breakdown of what this is going to be about. So at the end of the day, each of the lawyers win the case that day will go home with 150,000 naira. And then the lawyer that lost will go home with 100,000 naira. And then we're going to pick 10 people randomly from the jury that will be on the audience, the active guys. Those guys will be going home with 5,000 naira each. So that's what we're going to be having on that day. We'll have the first lawyer, the second lawyer, and then the jury. That is exactly what we're going to be having. So now, bring in your stories. I'm going to post the email address after the show. So you're going to see it. We are between now and next week Sunday. So submission will close by next week Saturday. And we're going to pick the first 10 submissions for this contest. Okay. So get ready. We're going to post in the email address right now after this show, and then get ready to write in your stuff. Okay. All right, guys. So that's what we have for you. Does anyone has any question to ask in terms of this project? Any question? If you have any question, let me know.